So new material will be going up. This will be in a regular podcast format. Okay, so don't look for it the same time every week. You'll have to just check the website every now and again, and new episodes, will be going up. Again, I may do another podcast tomorrow. I may do 2 podcasts this week. I may not do a podcast this coming week. I may, do one next weekend. I may do 6 in a month. I may do 1 or 2 in a month. It's going to be on my schedule when the urge strikes me, and again, it's going to take on a little bit more of a targeted and focused format. So that's all the venting and the vitriol that I want to get out there for today. And again, it isn't to necessarily just to go on an attack or a rant. It's to point this out, that this is a bad use of energy. It's not, I don't recommend it as a good use of people's energy. Go do something that's truly productive. Put this information out there for other people. That's the reason why things aren't changing fast enough. You're spending time nitpicking on stuff instead of putting information out there for people. I don't even care if you don't have it all right. You can go and edit it later. You can go and say, later, after I put this out, I reevaluated it. I no longer think this. I can go back and say, hey, information in podcast, whatever, number whatever. I didn't have this right. Please accept my apologies that I put out bad information, and here's my change. Here's my revision. You could always do that, I feel like I waited too long to even start talking. I've said this before in the past. I sat on this knowledge for a while, doing nothing, until someone shook me out of that with vitriol, with harsh words, not with saying, it's okay that you're doing that and not really speaking and you know all of this and you're doing nothing. No, they said, hey, what makes you think you can do that? What makes you think you have a right and that you don't carry your responsibility to put this out there for other people? That's how they said it to me, and I thank them for saying that to me like that. Pat from Virginia, who I may not have, I probably would have eventually, woken up into action, but it may not have been for another couple of years if that person didn't just say that to me in a vitriolic way. So I think that's great. And she might not even think it was a vitriolic way, whatever. I would say it wasn't at least pleasing to make me think to stay comfortable in thinking I was doing the right thing, because I wasn't. Silence is not the right thing. And anybody that's an armchair quarterback who's staying silent, you're not helping. You're hurting the war effort, the spiritual war that's going on. So that's really all I want to say on that topic. I want to end the show today by with 2 things, and people will probably think the first thing that I'm going to say is leaving on a negative note. I'll leave on a more positive note by playing the video that I had suggested for people that was recommended to me from Bob from Cincinnati. The first thing I want to say is, people will ask me, do you have any hope for humanity? Do you have any hope for our situation? The answer to that is largely no. I don't have much hope. But it's not 100% gone. There is a tiny, tiny bit. And it's there for one reason, and really one reason only. And it's not because I think humanity is intelligent, truly intelligent, or operating on any kind of holistic intelligence. It's not because I think that they care, because they have developed a lot of care and desire to know. It's not because I think that they're have so much courage and they're getting ready to stand up for their rights. It's not because I think that they know what rights really are. It's not because I think that they want to do the right thing. I don't have hope for any of those reasons. I don't have hope because people are, have such a strong developed will and they're so ready to get involved and do something and make things happen. I have hope for none of those reasons. As a matter of fact, those things, I recognize that humanity is apathetic, they're ignorant, they're lazy, they're cowardly, and in a very, very huge proportion There are more people who are non-activated, who are not intelligent, who are apathetic, who are not actually taking any real action that could help for the better than are. The proportion is staggering. Okay, I would say if 0.1% of people are aware and active, I would say that would be an encouraging sign. I don't think we're anywhere even close to that, who really understand and are really doing something about it, who understand the true causal factors and that are actually trying to help other people to understand those true causal factors that are rooted in natural law. I would say it's far less than 0.1% of the whole human population. Far less than that. Maybe 0.05%. Maybe. I'm being exceedingly generous, I think. So, with that having been said, then people will say, well, why do you have any hope at all? And the graphics that I'm going to post with the podcast, I'm only going to post 4 of them today. I will also post a related video, and I'll post the related audio file of the Free Your Mind commercial, the audio commercial. If anyone wants to pick that up and run it on any network or show, absolutely feel free to do so. It will be posted with this podcast. The video will be posted as well that I'm going to play to take us out today. And the 4 images, the first 2 were related to the Free Your Mind Conference. The Free Your Mind Conference poster was image number 1. The conference fundraiser poster was image number 2. At least it's a preliminary poster. We're going to add the other band's logos to it and put out a finalized version in the next couple days. The third image is explaining the alchemical acronym of vitriol. And the 4th image is the reason that I have any hope at all. It's a chart that shows the gun ownership rate in the world. Worldwide gun ownership per 100 people. Average firearm ownership per 100 people. And if you look at the chart, America stands alone. And to me, it's one of the most beautiful visions and hopeful visions that I've seen in years. And let me tell you something, folks. The only reason that the world is already not a 100% locked down totalitarian society, similar to or worse than Nazi Germany, Hitler's Germany, Mao's China, Stalin's Russia, or any other wicked totalitarian regime that has ever existed in the world. The only reason that the world has not gotten to that place yet is because America has not yet been declawed and defanged by becoming disarmed. And as long as I draw breath, I'm going to continue to fight to preserve and actually enhance the level of firearms ownership that exists in the United States. And people will say, how could you consider yourself a spiritual teacher when you're teaching people that firearms are good? Because I understand not only the non-aggression principle, I understand the second pillar that goes hand in hand in the synthesis of principles. The sacred feminine encapsulates the non-aggression principles of do not do harm to others, do not infringe upon their inherent natural rights. But the second pillar of principles is the self-defense principle, which means if someone is making incursions upon your natural rights, your life, your liberty, your property, you do possess inherently the natural right to use defensive force to protect your life, liberty, and property against those incursions. And no government, no matter how much they want to claim they have a monopoly on the use of force, they do not, and do not ever possess the right to take that inherent right to self-defense away. We've talked about this ad infinitum on previous shows, and it will continue to be a theme that I re-emphasize on future shows. But this is the only reason I have any hope for America, ladies and gentlemen. And let me tell you something. I would rather that those guns be in the hands of ignorant people than not be in the hands of people at all. That's how much I believe in the ownership of firearms. Because once you take away someone's defensive capability, you own them. You own them. You could do what you want with them. And that's why the government is making these intrusions. As soon as a government even starts trying to take away the citizens' protection against encroachment of tyranny, as soon as they try to take away that capability or start making inroads on taking away that capability in any way, in any form, those are the conditions that are ripe for tyranny. And you can guarantee they're getting ready to go hot with that tyranny. And this is what's happening in the United States today. And we have people nitpicking on researchers, on different researchers. Still talking about, is the Federal Reserve private, or how much of our tax money gets paid to them, or word etymologies or meanings of symbols. When they're trying to take the firearms from the citizenry of America. This is happening now because they're trying to declaw and defang the last line of defense against tyranny. And people will say, oh, well, we could never fight back against this government anyway, even if they did go hot with tyranny. You don't think so? I beg to differ. And I'm telling you, the American military and whatever other paramilitary police forces they have in third world countries can't deal with that resistance. You don't think that angry American resistors can get the job done and put down a tyrannical regime quickly? Well, I would suggest that you're a little too brainwashed by the mass media and what, the power that you think this government really does have. I don't care what kind of advanced weaponry they have. Good luck that's going to do against 80 million gun owners. Good luck with that. Wouldn't want to be on that side. Won't want to be on that side of that war. Not saying that this might not, if it goes hot, if the tyranny goes hot and then a revolution has to go hot to suppress the tyranny, I'm not telling you there aren't going to be enormous casualties on both sides. But I'm telling you, I wouldn't want to be on the side of the people who try it here. I wouldn't want to be on the side of the people who would dare to try it here. So the two words I have for them is Molan Labe. Try it. Try to come and get them. And I'll just wrap it up on that. That's the image that brings me hope. I look at that image every day because it's the only thing anymore that puts a smile on my face. And I hope people understand what I'm saying when I say that. So let's end with this great video that was brought to my attention by Bob from Cincinnati of Occult Empire. Thanks for sending me the link to this, Bob. This is a video that really talks about some of the things that I went over today on the show, and it gets into the implications of occulted knowledge, something I've been talking about since day one on What on Earth is Happening, and we'll continue to talk about on many future shows on the What on Earth is Happening podcast. So I'll take us out with this video, and it's very well done. I commend the maker of it, who really put so much in so little. I will also post it with the podcast so you can see the good visuals that he associated with this breakdown of what occult knowledge really is and its impacts upon human society and ultimately the internal world of the psyche within each individual. So we'll end on that, and I'll see everybody here when I see you. I'll be putting out podcasts again on an irregular schedule, so just check the website. Please help to promote for the Free Your Mind 2 conference. I ask people to spread those posters. Invite your friends on the Facebook page for the event. You can find that on Facebook. Just type Free Your Mind 2 conference. And get involved. Just keep doing something. Don't just complain about other people and their work. Do something yourself. That's the message I want to end on, and we'll take you out with this video, the implication of occulted knowledge upon humanity. Ladies and gentlemen, you've been listening to What on Earth is Happening, podcast number 139. And remember, there are only two mistakes that one can make on the path to truth: not starting and not going all the way. We'll see you next time, folks.